Hi, this is Dreams of Jeannie. I wanted to talk about the fact that it is October and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And as a breast cancer survivor, I try to make sure that I pay attention to that every month and raise awareness for other people. Because breast cancer is never easy, no matter the early stage or whatever later stage people might find themselves in. It's not an easy experience to go through. Other cancers are not as well, but my experience is with breast cancer. I was diagnosed in 2019 on routine mammogram. I had had my annual mammogram, thought everything was fine, although I think deep down I always thought I would get breast cancer. I don't know why, I just always thought I would. But I got a call to get more testing, so then I went in for a repeat mammogram and an ultrasound. And when the radiologist was doing the ultrasound, he was very, very quiet, didn't say much. So then they called me into his office after they looked at the results, and I asked him what he thought, and he said, "I think you have a very early breast cancer." My heart sank to my feet. So then I got scheduled to go in for a biopsy under ultrasound, and that was not fun. It hurt. They numb you up, but it hurt. So then that showed that and then they sent the biopsy off, and then a friend of mine who worked in the breast cancer center called me to give me the results like the next day, and earlier than I had anticipated. And I will never forget the way I felt when she told me I had breast cancer and told me the diagnosis. It was early. It was stage 1. I can't remember if it was 1A or B. I think it was 1B. It's been 7 years now. No, longer than that. 6 years. My math is so bad. It was in 2019. Okay, 6 years. But when she told me that, it's like everything stopped. And so then I had to go in and see the doctor. And I'm a retired nurse, and I worked with breast cancer patients in that same cancer center. So I went in to see the surgeon that I knew, and we scheduled my surgery. I had to go in and have a different procedure to put a thing in place that helps them locate what they're going to do. I had to go get an MRI biopsy, which was no fun. I had to get an MRI and then an MRI biopsy, where they had you in the MRI machine, and then they went from underneath to do a biopsy. And everything, there was always just little painful things. And so then a week after my 65th birthday, for which I qualified for Medicare, I had breast cancer surgery and had the cancer removed. And then when that healed, I did 16 radiation treatments. And that might not sound like a lot, but for me it was incredibly difficult. I went 5 days a week for 3 weeks, and then a Monday, and then I was done. I was so scared. I don't know why. I'm a little claustrophobic, and so I had to lay face down. They made a mold for you to lay in, to be positioning you to hit the cancer right. They shield everything else, supposedly. But it was terribly uncomfortable and just not fun. And so I had those, and then I had a skin breakdown. I had radiation burns, so that was like another month or so. I had to get a drain put in. It was just a whole thing. And then in the meantime, I started on an estrogen blocker, which, because mine was estrogen receptive, so those are fun. Not. They just are hard on your body. And then I gradually, over the next couple of years, developed osteopenia, which exacerbated an already not great back and caused me to have a lot of back pain. And cost me a lot of my fitness too. And the estrogen blockers just do a number. It's like it puts you into menopause plus. It takes any estrogen out of your body completely. So I took that for 5 years. And so I had to, every 3 months I had 3 cancer doctors for a while. I would see my radiation oncologist once a year, and then I saw my medical oncologist, once every 3 months, and then it went to 6 months. And I see my surgeon now annually, and my medical oncologist now annually for, I think, 4 more years. And I was off my medicine as of last year. I did my 5 years. Yay, 5 years on that medicine. That just changed my whole body, changed my face, it changed my skin, it changed everything. And so when I finished radiation, I got a tattoo on my arm. It says #badass, which is what I thought about it. I thought every time I was in the radiation machine, I thought, you got to be a badass to do this. Any woman period, is a badass, I think, but especially going through cancer treatment. And so when I finished my 5 years last year, I got a number 5 added, #5, to show I'd finished my 5 years. So that's very important to me. It was a way of marking. Now, not everybody wants a tattoo, and it's bigger than I thought it would be. When I look at it, I just used to like do a double take. Whoa, what's that? But I like it now. To me, I look at it and I know I survived it. But my point in telling my story is just that every cancer survivor has a story, probably harder than mine. And mine was no picnic. And Any cancer that you have is no picnic. And no matter what you might think, oh, it was it early, you caught it early, you had treatment and you were done. It's a lifelong thing after you had cancer and a cancer treatment. Now, maybe a skin cancer is different. I also had a melanoma, squamous cell in my forehead, and had a little surgery there, but that one was easy. But it's October, and in October we wear pink. And we make sure that women know about getting screened. And the likelihood, the older you get, the more likely women are to get breast cancer. The kind I had was the most common kind, and the most easily treatable, and more likely to happen in older women. And I was lucky in that regard, that it was easily treated. But I just want to pass on to other people that it's October and you have to pay attention. Pay attention to the girls. Look after them. Get them screened. They are what they are. They are part of you. And you don't want to get breast cancer, or if you get it, you want to find it early, because breast cancer can get really awful if you let it get out of control, or if you find it at a later date. So get your screenings. Pay attention to it. And I think that's my lesson for the day. That's my TED Talk. And this is Dreams of Jeannie saying, in October we wear pink.